Hi, I'm Bob from Plastic Pipe Shop, and in this video we're going to have a look at why you shouldn't build a system with all the threaded parts in it. Now, threaded parts are great if you can't avoid them. For example, if you've got to put hose tails in and they're metal hose tails and you want to thread them in or something like that. But my advice is really avoid threaded parts wherever you can. Now that's for two reasons. First of all, plastic pipe and threaded parts are quite a pain to get sealed. Even using PTFE tape or thread or anything like that, they can often drip and they can be quite frustrating to seal. And also, once you've put your system together, this is the second thing, as you're putting your system together, let's say we're threading a T onto our piece of threaded pipe here, which we've carefully threaded. As we're threading it on, we want our T to face flat at the end of it. Our T turns round, goes round, and that's as far as it goes. So because the thread has now locked on it, effectively that's where the thread wants to seal, but our T's in the wrong position. So what we have to do is turn our T back, there almost, well, over 90 degrees back to get it in the right position. But now our thread hasn't locked properly, so there's even more chance that that's going to drip and leak. And it's the same with elbows or any fitting which you have to position. If you're putting it onto a fixed thread, it's very difficult to get the position which you want and also get a really good thread seal as well. That's one of the reasons why I say avoid them. Another reason is people often think that by assembling with threads it means they can take it apart in the future and they can maybe clean the system. Again, very difficult to do, because once you've got a thread here, even if that one's straight, we then have another threaded fitting coming off, maybe for an elbow, which is then going on to something else and something else. You're never going to get those parts all back in the perfect position again. Where they lock depends how much PTFE tape or thread or whatever you're using to seal your threads you put round. So when you reassemble them, they're all going to want to lock in slightly different positions, maybe only a few degrees off of an angle, but that's going to make all the difference on your system. If you really want to build a system which you can take apart, then use unions on the system rather than threads. So use plain fittings and put unions in between everywhere, and then your unions can simply slide out. You can take sections of pipe out, put sections of pipe back in, and you can tighten them up again. If you click the I on this video, it'll take you to a video which explains more about unions. As I said, I would try and avoid threads as much as possible on a PVC pipe system. If you can't avoid them altogether, then you can't. If you're connecting up to something which already has a thread on, say it's a drain off a piece of equipment and there's a metal thread coming out of it and that metal thread is welded onto that piece of equipment, my advice would be to use a plain to threaded socket, thread that socket onto the fixed thread, and that then gives you a glue socket which you can then start taking your pipe system out from. Thanks for watching. Bye.